Hello, everyone. This is Annetta Williams, certified life coach. I'm with you tonight just to let you know that we're going to talk about a topic that many people do not want to discuss. They want to think that this topic is very taboo. It's a very serious topic. It touches many people. If it doesn't touch you individually, it touches someone in your family. But I also want to say that I would encourage you to pick up this book. It's called The Three R's. It talks about reflection, recovery, and redemption. This book talks about overcoming depression, overcoming sicknesses, overcoming life choices, obstacles, and different things like that. We had a current situation that happened in our nation that the model Stella committed suicide. I just wanted to talk about that because sometimes we think we know what suicide look like. We think we understand what it feels like. We think we can look at someone and say, "Oh, they're depressed," or look at someone and say, "Oh, they have anxiety." And sometimes some people makes jokes about, "Oh, you just anxious, or you just got anxiety. You just depressed. Why you acting depressed? Why you acting like that? You got issues today. You sitting in the house, you closing." But the reality is you don't understand what somebody's going through. Okay? Depression leads you to believe that something is really happening in your inner thoughts. It affects you in so many ways. And I could speak on it on the behavioral mental health side as a professional, and then I can also speak on it as someone who dealt with depression and currently dealing with anxiety during the pandemic. I found out was diagnosed with anxiety. Again, many times people look at depression and they look at it as a spirit or just a trauma that you went through, and sometimes those type of depressions and mental illness may be hereditary. It may be something that was triggered by a trauma or PTSD or any type of mental illnesses. But who are we to sit there and try to minimize or say that someone is not dealing with something just because you're not familiar with it? So I just want to express today that you don't know what somebody's battling with. You don't know what they're dealing with. You don't know what their everyday life is. You don't know how difficult it is for someone to be able to put their hand on the doorknob and walk outside the door of their home and just to be out into society and deal with the other people. And then we have the audacity to sit here and try to label people. People, be careful how you treat people. Be careful how you handle people, because you never know if that situation will flip and will be on you. I need you to be more conscious about how you're communicating with people, more conscious about how you're talking to people, and more conscious about how you are maneuvering through life and how you are respecting people and how you are disrespecting people. At the end of the day, you never know who is going through depression. You don't know who's dealing with it, who's battling it. You don't know who it looks like. Who would have thought that Stella, beautiful young lady, absolutely gorgeous, and had everything in the palm of her hand, who would have thought that she dealt with depression in the way she did? Who would have thought that somebody would have thought about taking their lives and completing the task of committing suicide? Who would have thought? Suicide is serious. Do you know the numbers and the percentage and the statistics speaks about suicide, that for every second it's about 98% of people that are obviously committing suicide or attempting to commit suicide. That alone is alarming to know that within seconds people are committing suicide or have the thought of committing suicide or attempted to commit suicide. Just to know that this could hit right in your home. It hit in my home a couple years ago when my loved one attempted to commit suicide. It hit in my home when my nephew 5 years ago committed suicide. So again, the reality of this is you do not know the face of depression, because depression looks different on everyone. Just like Perry's ice cream have 99 different flavors, depression has over 1 million different faces, and you do not know how it looks. So it would behoove you to be careful how you're treating people. Be careful how you're crossing people, and be cautious about the love that you need to extend to others. If you have a loved one or a family member who is suffering from depression, if you have someone who is struggling just to exist, please stretch your hand out, extend your help, try to get them help. There are professionals out here that can help them. They probably just need to go talk to somebody. They probably even just need a little medication. But at the end of the day, don't just tell them that they're just acting out. Don't just tell them that it's just a phase. Don't just tell them they have seasonal depression, because you cannot diagnose it. If you're not a clinician, you cannot diagnose this. This thing has to be seen and has to be treated, just like cancer, just like diabetes, just like high blood pressure, just like Crohn's disease, just like obesity. It has to be treated so you'll be able to know how to deal with it in a way that you can maneuver through life. This is a hard task. And I ask you again, everyone, pray for Stella's family. Lift her, keep her lifted in prayer, her family lifted up in prayer. They need your prayers during this difficult time. They're going to have a million questions, and they're not going to have that answer because the person that could give them an answer is no longer here. Do not allow that to be your friend. Do not allow that to be your family. Do not allow that to be your coworker. Do not allow that to be someone that's close next to you. Not only just that, but it could be someone sitting right next to you in the bench in church, at the pew in church. That person can be battling depression. And at the end of the day, you don't know what else to do but to look at them and think that they possibly may just be struggling with life, and they're struggling just to exist. Okay? So again tonight, please, ladies and gentlemen, let's think cautiously about how we are handling, speaking, and treating people who may just be battling depression. Let's lift Stella's family up in prayer. And let's pray for those who are battling every night, who are staying up every night, who are struggling every night, who are struggling every day, who are battling insomnia because the depression is overtaking them. You never know what someone is going through. You never know the struggle that's on their life. Please, let's keep people lifted. Again, pick up this book, Reflection, Recovery, and Redemption. It talks about a person who beat depression. All right? Thank you again, and God bless you. Have a wonderful day. I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.